The answer is you can't. The old expression is that you can fool all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but not all the people all the time. You can't fool God anytime.
That's right.
You can't fool Him anytime. Because wherever you are, that's where you are and that's where He is. And whatever you're doing, that's where you are, that's where He is. He knows the hearts of men. And we need to come to the understanding that we realize that He knows that what's inside of us. So, when I started reading, I found out about this and I started reading this thing about Jacob and Esau, and I thought, man, the battle between the flesh and the spirit is one heck of a battle. But God has given us His Holy Spirit to conquer the whole thing. To reject it, to have authority over it, to walk the walk that He's dedicated before us. It says here, He says, it's not who you are externally, it's who you are internally. It's the circumcision of the heart. It's that whole, quote, quaint expression, born-again experience. It's that where your heart is taken out and the foreskin of your heart is cut and it becomes new. That has got to happen. If that does not happen, then you're warring inside of yourself. You're warring because you're wanting to go the fleshly way and the Spirit wants to go the other way. Battling between the flesh and the Spirit. You could keep the Torah to the letter. But if you haven't got a circumcised heart, it's not going to matter. It's just not going to matter. Because the essence goes beyond the letter of the Torah. Now Jacob's life and his demonstration here, where he acquires his birthright and acquires the double portion blessing, there's some mystery, there's some deceit going on in there, and there's stuff going on, but God intended him to have that one way or the other, because that's what He spoke forth, and it was going to happen. And Esau, instead of reacting and saying, oh man, what did I do? He goes out and marries a bunch of women that are not of the tribe of Israel, just to rub it in their nose. It's like the rebellion is so deep. It doesn't matter. And you heard the portion from Malachi, where he says, I'm going to level Edom. I'm going to level the land of Esau. And if they try to rebuild it, I'll level it again. Jacob I loved, and Esau I hated. Sometimes I think we walk through the scriptures here and we think they're just kind of stories and we don't know how to apply them or whatever. All I can tell you is that the sincere relationship between you and the Holy Spirit has got to be there. You've got to have it. And it's not manifested in some crazy ways all the time. Maybe sometimes it is. But it's manifested within you, giving you a solid understanding, a solid wisdom about how to apply the scriptures to your life. And this is what we should be seeking. Turning away from the things of the flesh. Turning away from those things that would draw us away from Him. You see, Jacob wasn't a part-time hunter and a part-time student of the Word. It didn't say that. So he didn't go out and deal and go out and have fun in the world and then come back into the Spirit again. Because that's not the right pattern. He dwelled among the tents. He understood the prophecy. He understood what Mom was telling him when she said, hey, this is what the Lord told me about you. That your brother's going to serve you. That 2 nations are going to come from you. And your brother's going to serve you. You're the line of blessing. You're the line of promise. Now, I don't know why we don't see Isaac telling him that. That may be a whole other story. But he knew it. And so he applied that. He sat and listened to the stories of what the Lord had done in the past. How he had spoken to his father. How his father had been offered as a sacrifice. And how the Lord intervened. I'm sure they talked about these things. While Esau was out chasing pheasant. Or whatever meat he wanted to kill. But it's a picture of the flesh and the spirit. We have to apply ourselves to the spiritual principles. We have to apply ourselves in a spiritual life. And it has got to be sincere. I don't know how else to say this. It has got to be sincere. Don't play around with it. Either get in the boat or swim to the shore. That's the only two choices that you have. Because if you're not believing, you can't walk on the water anyway. Either get in the boat or swim to the shore. Make a choice. Don't try to have your feet in both worlds. We have to be in the world but not of it. We have to exist in it. We have to be able to maneuver in it. But at all those times, we're doing it because of Him within us. We're doing it because He's the one that's directing our path. And any of these hidden things that we may have that are driving us or bothering us or causing us to fall, get rid of them. Deal with it. And get rid of it. Don't let it linger. If you have to pull somebody aside and say, listen, I got this problem, please help me get over it. Pull somebody aside that you trust and sit with them and confess it. If somebody else knows about it, then maybe you can beat it. But don't let it linger. Don't let it build up to something that you can't handle. And end up in a situation that's going to destroy your life for years to come. This spiritual walk that we're in has got to be sincere. It's not just a game. It's not about what we wear. It's about who we are on the inside. Remember what Paul said about the circumcision. It's not the circumcision of the flesh, but the circumcision of the... Moses said that, didn't he? He said, circumcise your hearts, O Israel. Rent your clothes and circumcise your hearts. Because that's where the uncleanness comes from, is from our hearts. So circumcise your hearts, O Israel. And let's walk the walk together. Stay out of trouble. Shabbat Shalom.